Hello everyone, welcome to LBS IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss economics MCQs based on previous year UPSC questions. So let's start our session. Our first question is, consider the following statements. Statements are, purchasing power parity, exchange rates are calculated by comparing the prices of the same basket of goods and services in different countries. That is correct. In terms of PPP dollars, India is the sixth largest economy in the world. That is incorrect. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Here answer to this question is option A, statement 1 only is correct. Purchasing power parity is a popular metric used by macroeconomic analysts that help them to compare different countries' currencies through a basket of goods approach. PPP helps allow them to compare the living standards between countries and also productivity. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Next is, which of the following is not included in the assets of a commercial bank in India? Options are advances, deposit, investment, money at call and short notice. The answer to this question is option B, deposit. The deposit itself is a liability owed by the bank to the depositor. Bank deposits refers to the liability rather than to the actual funds that have been deposited. Assets which are readily convertible into cash are called liquid assets, the most liquid being cash itself. So, financial assets of a commercial bank are cash in hand, cash at the central bank, money at call and short notice, bills discounted, government securities with 1 year or less maturity, certificates of deposit, investments, loans and advances. So her answer to this question is option B, deposits. Next is, consider the following statements. Statements are, according to the Indian Patent Act, a biological process to create a seed can be patented in India. That is incorrect. In India, there is no intellectual property appellate for. That is incorrect. Plant varieties are not eligible to be patented in India. That is correct. Which of the statement given above is or are correct? The answer to this question is option C. Statement 3 only is correct. Article 3J of Indian Patent Act excludes patentability of plants and animals in whole or any part thereof other than microorganism but including seeds, varieties and species, and essentially biological process for protection or propagation of plants and animals. Hence statement 1 is not correct. Intellectual property appellate court has been constituted by a gazette notification of the central government in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in 2003 to hear appeal against the decisions of the registrar under the Trademarks Act and the Geographical Indications of Goods Act. Hence statement 2 is incorrect. In India, the Plant Variety Protection and Farmers' Right Act aims to provide for the establishment of an effective system for the protection of plant varieties and the right of plant breeders and farmers. So, plant variety protection provides legal protection of a plant variety to a breeder in the form of plant breeders' rights. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, your answer to this question is option C. Next is, the service area approach was implemented under the purview of options are Integrated Rural Development Program, Lead Bank Scheme, Manrega, National Skill Development. The answer to this question is option B, Lead Bank Scheme. Service area approach is a developed version of the area approach structure of the Lead Bank Scheme. Service area approach introduced in April 1989 in order to bring about an orderly and planned development in rural and semi-urban areas of the country. The Lead Bank Scheme envisages assignment of lead roles to individual banks for the district allotted to them. The Lead Bank acts as a leader for coordinating the efforts of all credit institutions in the allotted district to increase the flow of credit. So, your answer to this question is option B. Next is, the chairman of public sector banks are selected by options are Bank Boards Bureau, RBI, Union Ministry of Finance, Management of Concerned Bank. The answer to this question is option A, Bank Board Bureau. Bank Board Bureau is a self-governing autonomous body of the central government. It's an advisory authority comprising eminent professionals and officials to improve the management of public sector banks. The government in 2016 approved the constitution of Bank Boards Bureau to make recommendations for appointment of whole-time directors as well as non-executive chairpersons of public sector banks and state-owned financial institutions. The Ministry of Finance takes the final decision on the appointments in consultation with the Prime Minister's office. So the answer to this question is option A. Next is, in the context of India, which of the following factors contributes to reduce the risk of a currency crisis? Options are the foreign currency earnings of India's IT sector, that is correct. Increasing the government expenditure, that is incorrect. Remittance from Indians abroad, that is correct. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. The answer to this question is option B. Statement 1 and 3 are correct. and statement 2 is incorrect. A currency crisis is brought on by a decline in the value of a country's currency. This decline in value negatively affects an economy by creating instabilities in exchange rates, meaning that one unit of a certain currency no longer buys as much as it is used in another country. Foreign currency earnings and remittances contribute to the strengthening of the rupee. Hence, statement 1 and 3 is correct. Increasing government expenditure will have no effect on the value of currency. Hence, statement 2 is incorrect. So, our answer to this question is option B. Next is, which of the following is issued by registered foreign portfolio investors to overseas investors who want to be part of the Indian stock market without registering themselves directly? Options are certificate of deposit, commercial paper, promissory note, participatory note. The answer to this question is option D, participatory note. Participatory notes, also referred to as P notes or PNs, are financial instruments required by investors or hedge funds to invest in Indian security without having to register with SEBI in India. P notes are among the group of investment considered to be offshore derivatives investment. So, the answer to this question is option D. Next is, consider the following statements. Statements are, as per law, the Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority exists at both national and state level. That is correct. People's participation is mandatory in the compensatory afforestation programs carried out under the Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act 2016. That is incorrect. Which of the statement given above is or are correct? The answer to this question is option A, statement 1 only is correct. The Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act 2016 established the National Compensatory Afforestation Fund under the public account of India and a State Compensatory Afforestation Fund under the public account of each state. These funds are to be managed by national and state compensatory afforestation fund management and planning authorities, also set up under the Act. However, there is no mention of mandatory people's participation in carrying out programs under the Act. Hence, option A is correct. Next is, consider the following financial institution of India: Industrial Finance Corporation of India (IFCI), Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India (ICICI), Industrial Development Bank of India (IDBI), National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development (NABARD). The correct chronological sequence of the establishment of these institutions is, the answer to this question is option A, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, IFCI in 1948, ICICI in 1955, IDBI in 1964, NABARD in 1982. Development banks are financial institutions that provide long-term credit for capital-intensive investment spread over a long period and yielding low rates of return, such as urban infrastructure, mining and heavy industry, and irrigation systems. Development banks are also known as term lending institutions or development finance institutions. So, your answer to this question is option A. IFCI was set up in 1948. This was probably India's first development bank for financing industrial investment. In 1955, World Bank prompted Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India, that is, the parent of largest private commercial bank in India today. In 1964, Industrial Development Bank of India was set up as an apex body of all development finance institutions. NABARD is the apex banking institution to provide finance for agricultural and rural development. It is responsible for the development of the small industries, cottage industries, and any other such village or rural projects. It's a statutory body established in 1982.